If Shevuot Daf Chavzayin Amur Aleph by top. Mishnah. Nishbar levatel mitzvah. Someone swears that he won't do a mitzvah. V'lo bitel. He doesn't go against he doesn't go against his swearing. Yani he follows through with the mitzvah. Patur is patur. Like him, if he swears to fulfill the mitzvah, v'loki, and he doesn't fulfill the mitzvah, patur is also patur. Shia badin shia hayav, because you might think he's already chayav. Ki Rabbi Yehuda b'Torah, like we said earlier, Rabbi Yehuda ben B'Torah, because if a person can be chayav himself for something that's optional, maybe he for sure could be chayav for swearing falsely. If it's a mitzvah, and we say against it, Tamar Rabbi Yehuda ben B'Torah b'Shut, she'enu mishbar alav ha'sinai ru chayav alav mitzvah, she'lo mishbar alav Yisrael din she'ya chayav aleh. Amar lo ha'cham say no. That even Rabbi Shevuot Daf shekinasa b'halav kehen. You can only say that concept regarding a regular swearing with an optional swear because there's a negative and a positive aspect to it. I will do it, I won't do it. Tomorrow mitzvah there's no such thing. Torah never equated a positive and negative aspect to that. Therefore, if a person swears to violate the mitzvah, he doesn't violate it, it's patur. We can't compare. Okay. You might think that a person swears to violate mitzvah, he doesn't violate it. Yeah, hayab, maybe he's chayav. And what the pasuk says, lehara or lehetev, to do bad or good. Like good is for optional, so too bad is for optional. Therefore, I can also include someone who swore to violate a mitzvah and doesn't violate it. And next, and now you might think that a person swears to fulfill a mitzvah. To fulfill mitzvah and doesn't fulfill it, we also should be a chayav. Therefore, just like the bad is optional, so there's good optional, and therefore I can also exclude someone who swears to do mitzvah and doesn't fulfill it, shei patur, also patur. Now, let's say you might think, a person swears to harm himself, and he doesn't harm himself, maybe yachol patur, maybe my patur. Therefore, I can include someone who swears to harm himself, doesn't harm himself, Shari should be a he's technically allowed to, and therefore he's chayav if he doesn't do it. Maybe I think also you could swear to harm someone else, and therefore if he doesn't do it, the Gemara says to him, the optional, he can't do it, therefore he's patur to harm someone else. You know that about the I know that I can include someone to do good to others. To do good. What's considered bad to someone else? I'll hurt someone or I'll hit his head, etc. That is something that if the person swears to hurt someone else, if he doesn't do it, he is not chayav and korban for swearing falsely. We might how do you know that the pasuk is talking about something optional, right? That's our basis so far. Oh, it must be talking about something optional. Maybe it's talking about a mitzvah, and therefore you can swear on mitzvah. Mar says, no. Because the Torah equated swearing for good and swearing for bad. And therefore that can't be talking about mitzvot. Mar says so maybe compare bad to doing good. Just like good can't refer to someone violating a mitzvah, which is considered bad. So bad can't be referring to violating a mitzvah. Because doing bad in that aspect is doing good. That's why you can't be talking about mitzvah. The Mar says, also, I can compare good to bad. How? Such like bad can't be referring to doing mitzvah because it's good. Also good can't be doing mitzvah. Because good in that aspect would be violating mitzvah, which would be bad, and therefore, again, another proof why the pasuk has to be talking about optional stuff, not mitzvah. The Gemara says the Achiv, that's the case. How would you find a case where there's something optional that also will not affect people in a negative or positive way? Gemara says simple. So meaning like if it's good or bad means they have to be identical and it has to be something good or bad physically. So how can you have something that's good that would be like eating something that would hurt yourself, for example, and then versus bad can't be to say I swear I won't eat it, doesn't add up. So the one is okay, fine, no finish. Ella the pasuk gets right or good or bad. Therefore, it includes the benefit of others. Optional, optional stuff. Because there was a mitzvah. Pasuk already said don't harm others. Why would you need a pasuk to tell you that you could benefit others with a shevuah? Therefore, the word "oh" teaches you It's more optional. The word says, but we know the word or, teaches you that they're separate isurim. You don't have to swear good and bad. It could be good or bad. Lehalek lo tzarich kra. The pasuk says, no, you don't need the word "oh" that teaches that. You can understand Pashut Shah pasuk because it's two separate cases, good or bad. But Hani lechama the Natan. The Rabbi Yoshia only fits according to Rabbi Natan, who says that "oh" is not used for that. Rabbi Yoshia, who says that "oh" is used to teach us separate halachot. Ma'ik Nimer, how do you say that? Now we're going to quote it. Hani verse said, "Ish asher yiklad aviv imo." Right, Masachet. Sanhedrin. Person were to curse his father and his mother. So he's only chayav mita, seemingly his father and mother. Aviv lo imo ivlo lo mim, he only curses out one. So Lamar, Aviv imo kilel, Aviv kilel v'imo kilel, we excluded Rabbi Yoshia. Rabbi Yotaner, mashma shneim ke'echad, mashma echad b'fnei atzmot. Pasuk says no. It says no. Pasuk sounds like both, and it also sounds like separately. Chayav. Until the pasuk explain them specifically together. So therefore, we see, according to Rabbi Yoshia, that the Gemara needs the word "or" to teach you separate halachot, to teach you that there's two separate cases. So how would he explain our Mishnah over here? Where it says, "I feel Rabbi Yoshia, you know Rabbi would fit." Besides, like Rabbi Akiva, he'll take Rabbi Akiva. That what? He says, "I amart b'shlama bar harishut ktiv." Now, because Rabbi Akiva says, I understand Rabbi Akiva that if the pasuk is talking about optional stuff, that excludes a mitzvah. Eli amar devar mitzvah ktiv. If the pasuk is talking about only mitzvah related stuff and is good and bad, what would the pasuk be excluding by saying "oh"? And therefore, it must be talking about a case that the pasuk is referring to optional stuff and it's excluding other things. Okay, Rabbi Dad had a good response to Chachamim. Chachamim had a good response to him, meaning Chachamim said, Chachamim said no. If a person swears to violate mitzvah, there's no reciprocation in the good or bad of the Mishnah in the pasuk. How can you explain according against the question against Rabbi Dad? Now, like Mara agrees to Chachamim, Chachamim, they have a good question against Rabbi Dad. How does he explain himself? Rabbi Dad would explain himself to the pasuk is referring to swearing to help others. Even though there's no such thing, there's no parallel oath, there's no parallel opposite, meaning the corresponding one would be to hurt someone else. But Rabbi Rahmanan, yet pasuk still includes it to teach you that you're swearing. So over here regarding fulfillment. So even though a person can't violate this, can't swear to violate the mitzvah, the pasuk maybe included it. The Gemara says, Rabbanan, I don't have him answer that. Atam ite below etiv. Person can have a parallel of doing a mitzvah, of benefiting. Instead of saying I will benefit someone, the parallel could be I will not benefit someone. Regarding mitzvah, there's no parallel of I will not fulfill it. Okay, no Mishnah. Someone swears, I will not eat this loaf of bread. Then he says it again twice, I will not eat it, I will not eat it. All right, so he swears the same thing 3 times, and we'll pay attention later on why you have to mention two different ways. I will not eat the bread, I will not eat it, I will not eat it. Okay. Then eats it. One. Zuhi Shevuot Bitul, this is the type of case that is it's a Shevuot of saying something. That he's chayav for lashes. We did it on purpose. If you violate it on purpose, and if you did it by mistake, he's chayav a korban. Shevuat shav, a pointless oath. If he went against it on purpose, then it is a malkut if he did it on purpose. By mistake, there is no punishment. Okay, why did the pasuk mention the way the pasuk word the Mishnah mentioned it? Rather, the Mishnah worded it interesting. It said, "I will not eat the bread. I will not eat it. I will not eat it." Why don't you say the same thing 3 times? Mar says, because he said, "I will not eat the bread," and then he said, "I won't eat it." He still only chayav once. But the guy first said, "I will not eat it." Then he said, "I will not eat the bread." Mechayev tarti chayav twice. Like Rava said, right? So we said the fact they said bread first, then it instead of it, then bread. That's why it's chayav twice like Rava. Why? Tamar Rava says Shvuah shelo achal kikazo. Someone's been on night this bread. Kevin shachal mina kazar chayav. Once he eats a olive a kazayit amount, he's chayav. Shelo achal if he said I will not eat it, ain't no chayav al shnena kula. He's not chayav for eating the whole bread, and therefore. If Shah's teaching you that in the first case, that when the way the guy said it initially, I will not eat the bread, then it's kazayit. If I will not eat it, he's chayav on the whole bread. Only eats the whole bread. Okay, Shavua shaloch lenevecha. If the guy swore it, I will not eat the bread, I will not eat it, and I'll eat it, then he ate it, he's chayav once. Hashlamli, why didn't Shah teach it again? If why the third time? But twice should be enough. Maybe there's no isur on the third swearing. Hashvuaika, maybe the swearing itself should remain in place. The mishkah ravcha, because if there's another place that the shvuah can take place, hayala will take effect. What is it talking about? The Gemara says, if let's say the guy made two swearing back to back, and the guy did like hatarat shvuah, he got one of them annulled. The second one would come up in its place. So why did I mention three? Because if the guy managed to eat one or whatever it is, and then after the first swearing or the second swearing, if he annulled one of them, that last third one would slide into place as an active shivuah, so that if he eats it, he's chayav. Lema says doing proof. Mishnah dar shnei nizir. Someone vowed two sets of nazirs. Right? He was going to be a nazir twice, 30 days each. Umanarishna, he counted the first set of 30 days. Ve'afisha the korban, and he brings the korban for the. He set aside the korban. Right, he set aside a korban at the end of the nazir to bring a korban. So he set it aside. Then he got hatarat on the nazirut. He cancels out the nazirut. The second set comes in the first place, in the first one, and then he is done because he already did the 30 days. Seemingly, this is the same halacha as Rava. The Gemara says no. Halkiyash they can't compare. Atam nazirut mihaita. In the first case, the second set was going to be a nazirut even if he didn't cancel the first one. Right? He was just if he finished the first one, then after the first one, do the second one. When he finished the first one. Then he must go and count the second one. But in our case, when two Shevuot the same thing, Shevuah make it like a cloud. The second one will have nothing to do with the first one. Meaning, the guy swears the same thing twice. I will not eat this bread once. I'll not eat this bread twice. He swears on it twice. The second one is pointless. However, the Nazir would stack one after the other. Okay, Marava. Someone swore he won't eat bread, then he ate it. There's an olive, is a kazayit left. They didn't eat yet. Inshallah, he can still release himself through hatara. He ate it. And inshallah, he can't release itself. Was the case. The guy said, "Will not eat it." Then once he started eating the first kazayit, even if there's 1,000 kazayits left. And if he said, "I will not eat it," what's the hidush? If the guy said, "I will not eat the whole loaf," then who cares about the kazayit? Even if there's a crumb left, it should be patur. Mar says, "No, afilu kol shehunami." Even if the leftover, right? Even if kazayit is chayav. If you want to say maybe the case is a case where I will not eat the loaf, and that's why. Even or if the guy said I will not eat it, how do we explain it? If you want to say that the guy said I will not eat this loaf, he's chayav, he's patur if there's a kazayit left. Why? Because since the guy can still get hatara on the last kazayit, therefore he can still ask hatara for the beginning. Even if you want to say explain the case there, he said I will not eat it. If there's kazayit left, there's still enough to ask hatara for. If there's no kazayit left, we don't look at it that it's finished and therefore he's done. The problem is once there's not a kazayit left, there's not a significant amount of bread left to ask hatara for.